What's going on, guys? Goat Rodeo Gaming back with another custom map of mine from Transport Fever 2. If you didn't see, I made a custom map of the Yuma subdivision, which is one of my old routes. And if you didn't know, I'm a former Union Pacific conductor. So, yeah, I like trying to make these realistic routes on Transport Fever 2, make them fun for you guys, and check out the other games I played too. I play a whole lot. Created some of my own free content for the Train series, Trains the New Era, Trains 12, so look out for that. Make sure to join our Discord and subscribe, like, share, comment, all that good stuff to help this channel. The bigger I can grow this channel, the more cool stuff I'll come out for you guys. So, without further ado, I'll stop talking. So I decided to make the Salt Lake City Service Unit. So, on the Union Pacific Railroad, there's different service units, and a few years back when I was there, this region was called the Salt Lake City Service Unit. Now, we're starting a time where it's still the Rio Grande and the UP. The UP hadn't taken over yet, so, but that's just what I wanted to name the map. This is my favorite part of the country to visit, so without further ado, let me give you guys a tour. Alright, so we're going to start at Salt Lake over here. Don't worry. I'll give you plenty of detail. So right here, we're in Salt Lake. So, put some industries around Salt Lake. There's obviously a lot going on there. Got some oil. The town has grown quite a bit. It doesn't start like this. Got the church here. Mormon Church of Salt Lake. So far I've worked up to the year 1988. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you the Rio Grande first, and then we will circle back around. You guys are going to, I think you're going to really like this. So let's go. So you go south here out of Salt Lake. Still getting used to the controls because I haven't played this in a while, so forgive me. This is, I think it's called Lake Provo. Not the Great Salt Lake, but the other big lake that's up there. Over here, we have an unload for coal. Is here in Provo. This is kind of a staging ground for coal trains to head south down into Long Beach, California, and then east out to Arizona. But we don't have that section of the map, so these are where the coal trains terminate. Coming to Provo right here. I have a little rendition of a yard that I made. Now this map does come bare, so you can build your own tracks wherever you want. So immediately out of Provo, there used to be a branch line that went up to Heber City, if that's how you pronounce it. So I decided to create that, and we have the Heber City local right here. There is a lake up there, but since it's at elevation, can't place the water. At least I don't know how to in this game. And then up here you have a little town, and there is a lumber mill up there. So I figured, hey, I'll put the lumber mill up there. Go back down here. Nice little canyon. A little challenging grade. Good little local setting. Okay, then we got Spanish Fork and Payson. Out this way I put a steel industry. I customized all this stuff myself. So, some detail, not a crazy amount. I like to try to get it in the ballpark, but I don't want to spend all day on it. One little industry. So now we start the climb towards Soldier Summit, heading south. And this is a very steep grade. In most parts you have to do the max grade on this game. Now we do have the canyon that offshoots about a quarter of the way up, down to Bird's Eye. Then this canyon continues running south. But we'll come back here. So we're making the climb up the Soldier Summit, heading south. Pretty long canyon, beautiful in real life. So tried to do my best to bring that to this game. At the top here is what would be Soldier Summit. And then you start the descending south into Helper. Helper's one of my favorite towns to visit. I'm not sure why. It's just a cool little small, I would say old western town, but you can just tell like there's just a lot of history there, and I enjoy that. So once again, steep grades, and yeah, you gotta make your climb up. I double tracked it because that's how it is in real life. So then we come down into Helper right there, and you have where the Utah Railway splits off. So I'll show you that first. So there's no mods for the Utah Railway when it comes to cars or locomotives. So made a little rendition of their yard, and then this line kind of climbs out up into the hills behind Helper, and it goes to a coal mine, and this line continues running for quite some ways, but pretty much all abandoned at this point. So this is your first coal mine where you can send your coal trains to. So we'll come back this way. Then we come into Helper itself. I made the backdrop of the cliffs, beautiful mesas and cliffs there. It's just a small little town, and I did my best to create an actual Helper yard. I wanted to, have the track work and all that stuff look pretty similar. Obviously not as many tracks as in real life, but hey, what are you gonna do? So I put a kind of an engine facility here like there was back in the day, and this is a train depot, so you can order new trains. They had a manifest section of the yard, and then they had a coal section of the yard. So they had a nice little Y. The configuration of the yard was pretty well thought out. So come out this way, or you can come out that way. So then you have this nice hill in the middle, which is a great overlook. I've been on top of that myself. Now we're going to start heading even more south and climbing up the Helper's a bit of a grade. So there's a bit of a depiction like that right here. Now we come into Bryce and Wellington. Now we have our second coal mine that offshoots. Now this line dead ends right at the coal mine, so this is 100% realistic. And the whole time there's this wash that kind of parallels the railroad, so I try to do my best to recreate that, make it look somewhat legit. Down here, it's not exactly in the right place because this map isn't life size, so it's hard to fit in everything, but there is an oil business of some sort, so I created that as well. And then there was another branch line past Wellington that would cut off and then eventually lead up to the mountain. There was a dirt pit, something else up there, so that's where I put the quarry. Once again, in real life there's just beautiful mesas and cliff backdrops, so that's what I did in this. Now we start climbing back down. As you can see in this part down here is Green River. In between Wellington and Green River there's a really cool section of railroad where it's, I think they call it the stairway to heaven, because it goes up and then flattens out, and it goes up and then flattens out, almost like stairs. So I did my best to recreate that, and at least one or two stairs. Right here you can see we got a manifest train climbing up. Then we come into Green River. Green River's kind of an old rundown town at this point, but it's got, like Helper, it's got a great backdrop, and then you have the Green River itself coming out of the mountains. So it's beautiful. But then we keep heading south towards Grand Junction. There's a bit of a climb in real life up to where you kind of meet it at its peak here as you parallel Moab. This is just a little rendition of Moab since I don't have enough space going south. The whole time there's just these awesome cliffs with mountains behind it. So I definitely had to recreate that. And then the end of the Rio Grande is in Grand Junction. So I decided to come at it from this way. You can come at it from that way as well. Have a scrap place here in Grand Junction. some goods, some brick, takes goods, produces brick, and then not in Grand Junction, but in the surrounding area, there is some coal mines up in the mountains. So here's another place to load coal if you'd like to. Okay, so we're going to go back this way, and that was pretty much a tour of the Rio Grande. We'll follow the Green River. So it goes all the way through the map, and I think you guys are going to like how it connects. So, not too far north of Green River, Utah is Green River, Wyoming. So this is where we'll pick up the UP. On this end is a depiction of imports and exports, so the run-through freight. There's not a whole lot of businesses or towns or the UP services through here. So this is just here to basically give you run-through freight, and you can run, big, heavy intermodal trains, manifest trains, grain trains, like right here. Got a nice grain train coming through. Now we're going to head west. Come through Green River, which is also a pretty neat little town. It's got cool backdrops, like in Utah. Not as tall or as impressive, but it's just a neat little area. From Green River, you kind of climb out. You can see you kind of climb out through this canyon. Wyoming is very barren in this part. A lot of cool rolling hills with no developments once you get out in the country. So that's pretty neat. Get some C40s right here. Now we're heading west, back towards the Great Salt Lake. Got Advanced-in. Then you start climbing your way up to where it gets a little mountainous. Up through this canyon. Up and over. And then we start dropping back down. This is a decent little grade. If you look right here, there is a canyon that connects through the mountains of Utah from Huber City to this canyon where the UP goes through. So you do have that option. Now it's not realistic to go through there because there's never been a rail line through there. So this version of the map that I've been playing myself, I wanted it to be as realistic to the real thing as possible. So, and you drop down here in Ogden. Ogden's got business right here. There's a lot of industry and business for the railroad up here in the Ogden, Utah, Provo kind of belt. It's almost like a Southern California. And come into here. This is where you offload your imports from the other side of the UP. Right here we have the UP engine facilities. So pretty neat. And then you run back into Salt Lake City. So what I like to do is I run my Rio Grande manifest trains from this interchange basically with the UP all the way to Grand Junction, and I stop at every city on the way there and pretty much every city on the way back. So you end up loading up quite a bit of freight because you have so many stops, and then there's some freight to come back with, like the brick, maybe some scrap. So yeah, this is pretty much it, guys. Just a fun map that I spent a lot of time on. We got the nice mountain backdrop of Salt Lake, snow-capped. So we'll give it a little bit more of a zoomed out view and we'll go over it one more time. This would be the Great Salt Lake right here. So you can see it's a good size map. I mean, it takes a while to, say, have a Rio Grande manifest start in Ogden right there and run all the way to Grand Junction. It's got to deal with the grades. For the coal trains, it's a bit of a shorter run, which is how it was in real life. So come out this way. And yeah, I mean, you can do whatever you want. You can run a line down through here, or you can use boats. It doesn't matter. So yeah, just a cool map. Spent quite a bit of time making this. I wanted to make it as good as possible. If I'm gonna make something, I want to make it realistic. So yeah, make sure you like, subscribe, share, comment. We got our own Discord, so that should be in the description, or look for it in the YouTube about on our channel. We can hook up on there, hang out. Also on Reddit. And yeah, just trying to grow this channel, guys. So, the more you share to your friends, comment, like, or just try to help us grow, the more things I will do like this, where I'll try to bring you some cool content, not just for this game, but for other games as well. And if you guys do want to help us out a bit, it's greatly appreciated. And I make this stuff not for myself, but because I want to share it with people. And that's why I put a lot of effort into it to make it legit. Because it's fun. I want to try to make as close to basically developer content as I can for free. Because I know how cool this would be if somebody else made this. I would love to enjoy content like this. So I hope you guys enjoyed as well. So, yep. Keep helping us out whatever way you can, or don't, no big deal. It's just a gaming channel, but we're trying to grow. And yeah, hope you enjoy playing this, and we'll talk to you next time. Thanks.